Hey everybody, it's Eddie J on Crypto. Let's dig into everything I covered in the Crypto Minute. Just so you know, the Lazarus Group has been involved with so many different things with regard to, hacking. Nothing good, nothing great. And it should be of no surprise that they are being blamed for the latest hack of $41 million taken from stake.com. Now, for me, it's a big deal because I don't think that it's highly possible we're doing a lot. But if they can still steal $41 million, I don't think we're doing enough. And I think we need to get louder about it. I think we need to go after them because a digital war is still a war, in my humble opinion. No loss of life or anything else, but a digital war can be more dangerous than a conventional one. So that's something that our government should be looking at really hard. The FBI, apparently they are, because the FBI has already identified them as the culprits. So I think more is to come from that. I really do. Something else, the FDIC, the chairman is saying, hey, we still have the opportunity for a banking crisis. Or another banking crisis. You want to know what that stems from? He says it stems from inflation and higher interest rates. I know I haven't done so in a while, but I think I should make a list of all of the economic impacts that are known. I'll say it like that, and kind of look at how they could play out in 2024. 2024 is going to be a telling year. Things are going to go well, things are going to go poorly. But I think that if there's a banking crisis, people are going to flock to things like gold and, of course, Bitcoin. And if you're going to flock to Bitcoin, that's the cryptoverse. That means you're going to see money coming in. The halving event, everything else, there are a lot of things that are pointing to a rise in the cryptoverse. Now, something else I wanted to get into. I really like Cardano. I really do. I really appreciate everything that Charles Hoskinson and his team are doing. However, Lord of mercy, lack of marketing. It seems like they can come out with, a cure for cancer and it just nothing will happen to the price. It seems like nothing happens to the price unless something happens to the overall market. They need marketing help. Maybe they should talk to Shibarium. I'm just saying. They should talk to the Shiba Inu community because they know how to get some traction. Whether the price goes up, goes down, they get traction. Of course, the price does go up, but traction is the key. Cardano just released this idea of warp transactions. And basically, it's a multi-signature transaction that, I don't want my ears to get, dry. It's a multi-signature transaction between both parties, the sender and the receiver. And that will get rid of the sender fee. Okay. I guess, but that's not convenient. You want to know what else is not convenient? You can only do it on the Typhon wallet. Like, really? Like, why even make that announcement? Who is actually doing that? Also, put it into a use case for me so I can understand if that's going to be convenient. Like, do it in a retail store. Look at that transaction process and tell me, is that going to be convenient? That I can only use one credit card or one debit card when I walk into a store, and they have to be with the same bank. That's the equivalent in my eyes. Do more marketing so one, we can get a better understanding. Two, we can have an appreciation. And three, we'll be enticed to use it. It's not that difficult. That's Stitch. One of my kids is leaving for school, and Stitch doesn't like that. I don't know. JPMorgan Chase. I've been looking at JPMorgan. And I'm old because I said Chase. I was looking at JPMorgan and I'm sitting here and I'm saying to myself, JPMorgan is basically going to roll their own technology as much as they possibly can. They're thinking about rolling out their own token for deposit tokenization and settlements. And I'm sitting here and I'm just going, wow. The only time that they're playing outside of their own technology box is things like, DeFi projects, and external tokenization. That's the only time they're actually expanding out to other technologies. I told you that they had been a part of a DeFi experiment. I don't know how far that's going to go, but I think the other players are going to do a lot. You have players from Japan, United States, Singapore, and others that actually participated in that, and the DeFi transaction actually happened. So proof of concept is already there now to see like how it all plays out. Talking about, DeFi and tokenization and all that good stuff. Who is it? It's Coinbase, Aave. Give me a moment. Let me find the last name. Oh, it's going to bother me. That's Cardano. I'm looking at my notes. I'm sorry. Let's see. It's Coinbase, Circle, and Aave formed a coalition, a tokenization coalition. Actually, let me get you the actual name of that. That's going to annoy me. I'm sorry. It's called the Tokenized Asset Coalition. Trust me, it's going to be called TAC. I'm surprised that it wasn't ACT. Know what I'm saying? Anyway, so that's actually going to wind up being a big thing. I joke about, how I think, Coinbase is going to be the BlackRock of the cryptoverse, right? I joke about that all the time. But it's actually a very big deal when you think about tokenized assets, okay? Tokenized assets are going to be huge in the future. Think about the trillions of dollars in mutual funds, in all kinds of assets that are there. That's what's to be tokenized. When we say that there are going to be trillions of dollars ready to come into the cryptoverse, this is what we're talking about. Pay attention. When you start putting all those little pieces together, you start to realize crypto is not only here to stay, but it is being looked at as an ongoing convenience and way of doing business, period. People will be using, blockchain technology and tokenization and tokenized assets and all those different things on a regular basis. Seriously, it's going to be like going to the store and buying a Snickers bar. It's my second favorite. Baby Ruth is my first. So pay attention to that. These are very big deals happening by very big companies. Ripple. Now, you got to pay attention to the CTO of Ripple. So he's basically saying that, or hinting, he's hinting that there could be an IPO coming. Something else that he's saying is that there is a possibility of a settlement between the SEC and Ripple. Now, I told you about that a couple of weeks ago, and I was saying that I don't know if it's, fake news. I don't know if it's real news, and I needed to get into it. That hint tells me that that meeting that happened at the SEC behind closed doors was a real thing. It was a real thing. I think what's going on is how harsh can they be in a situation where they don't have a lot of power, right? The SEC. So what amount of money, because that's all it is, what amount of money are they going to say you have to pay as a fine to get rid of everything else? And here's the kicker. What are they going to be forced to do if they settle? Those are the big questions. Those are huge questions, right? And I'm sitting back and I'm just going, wow. I'm going to close out with Cameron Winklevoss being interviewed by, and I'll go in order, New York City prosecutors, the SEC, and the FBI, all about Genesis and Digital Currency Group. I kept telling you that something was going to happen. Something's got to happen. And here you go. I think it is imminent. I think it's impending that Barry Silbert, Digital Currency Group, I think that they are headed in a huge downward spiral. I think that Grayscale is going to wind up being spun off or bought. Something like that is going to happen. Has to. You have those three entities. There's no way in the world you have those three entities looking into everything and no charges are going to be brought. It's impossible. It's impossible. I'll bet you a bottle of wine. So pay attention to that because it's going to be a big deal. Anyway, I'm not going to go through the numbers. We're moving sideways, bumped up a little bit, but it's really not that much. Have a good one.